I guess we didn't hear it. Recording in progress. It is recording.
You want to enlarge that zoom, so just hit enlarge so we have it a little bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, I fixed the. So. When you speak, we'll come out the mic. Someone do that?
Calling this meeting to order. Video on. Yeah. Is that along?
Yeah.
I'd be happy to. We had to have our video on with our pretty faces. Okay, well, it's a good thing I shaved.
And Cassie, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
I can't hear her now. Okay, so first thing is to move to accept the abstract.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, and the next up, we're gonna, the public hearing for the rail trail easement is gonna be continued to November. Because the Freeville hasn't voted on, hasn't accepted the proposed easement we sent over to them, so we have to continue this to November. So if anybody's got any comment on it, now's the time. Otherwise, we'll just move on to the next agenda. All right. So I'm gonna open the public hearing for the local law to override the tax cap. Let me show it. So I don't know, this is something we normally would have done in August, but didn't this year. It doesn't mean we're gonna go over the tax cap, but we have every single special district counts towards it. So, and also the regular, the main four funds.
Mhm.
So.
Whatever here.
Oh, and then this is like I said last month, it's a legacy of Cuomo. This thing is still around. So, in any case, since we don't know necessarily what the special districts will come out like, that's one reason why we passed this. And I know that the like for instance, the sewer plant's budget hasn't even been set yet. So, and that one's looking at some pretty major increases. So. Anyway, do we have any, so it's the local laws up there. If there's any comment from anyone in the public, I guess I would take those right now, and that includes from folks on Zoom, even though I gotta figure out a way to make sure we can hear you. Mike, can you just come up to the microphone so we can hear you?
I think it's good government for you to go ahead and pass this every year. We've done it in the county, this year it took 2 votes. Because there was a divide of whether we should do it now or later, that was a couple months ago. But it makes sense to do it early, and then, frequently, and certainly in the county, we've never needed to go over the cap, but we don't want to have to be stuck, not being able to go over the, get penalized by the state.
Okay. Well, thank you.
It's a super majority, right?
No,
Not
I
a
think
simple.
it's just a majority.
Yeah, just not worried.
So, is there anybody on Zoom wanted to comment? It's the only one member of the public there.
60% of the.
That's. I think it would be 60% of the vote to override.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it would only not get passed the local law. That's my guess.
Yeah.
We're voting to.
That's what this law allows us to do, yeah.
And we,
But for us, the majority is 60%.
that's true.
So that's the math. It's new math.
Assuming we have a majority. Now, what if one of us doesn't show up? Can't think we can through.
Well, we're all here. Okay, so we're gonna keep this open for another about 10 minutes. So in the meantime, we'll just continue down the agenda. So Rick, do you have anything that's non-budget you wanted to talk to us about tonight? Because I know the one thing was like I know I talked with you about like real briefly that Finger Lakes thing about the land trust with the Roy H. Park Preserve parking lot, because they were asking me about that again.
Never any problem.
No, they just want to make sure you're okay with, because they're gonna get a grant for to expand it, so if they buy the materials,
Yes,
we can help them out with just, because I know you said you went there and did cleanup or something, I think.
yeah, we just cleaned up and there was something they needed to do a little more work there, but.
Yeah,
Before you put the blacktop down, I want to put some more stone down. And put my new stuff like that.
yeah, so I'll let them know that you're.
It probably won't this year, because.
Yeah, no, they have to get the grant money first, so that wouldn't be till next year anyway.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
You were CC'd on that email from Barton to Judas about Trees Road Bridge. Just want to make sure that was on the radar screen, that we're finally getting some movement on that. And that the town board will likely do the environmental seeker next week.
yeah, I met with, Todd Bitter yesterday on a place I wanted to put the bridge, but we haven't come to the agreement yet. On the trail.
You're not kidding.
No.
So, really don't want any more curveballs on this project. We're not giving you the spot, just so you know.
Right.
If you do get anything, it would be some of the rusty hulk that, it's gonna need TLC.
Well, he was supposed to look at it and check out what lens left down there, because the eye can just won't be.
Yeah, that would be great, instead of scrapping it, repurposing it, I think that would make a lot of people happy. Nice.
And the other thing we're working on is the, Jason is, well, I talked to, Nathan White. We have a serious issue down there on Westlake and Jason
Yeah.
Road.
Yep.
The digging is not stopped,
Didn't an injunction get filed already?
not yet. I signed paperwork. Last week and we sent it back and then there's another attorney that's stepping in to help me some things, so I'm gonna get back out, take more pictures, you know how lawyers are, you know, all this stuff. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're trying to do with the junction, to get staff.
Yeah.
It's not good, he's out there, it's getting deeper every day. And,
What's he-
This is hardcore. What was he doing?
Not close, and it's gone from a pumpkin farm to pine trees to moon garden to anything I can do to outside.
And there he goes about, letting under.
Yep.
Yeah.
Already there, that's part of our complaint. I had to put barrels, cones, and snow fence. And then cones fell through there to make sure nobody falls off it, and it doesn't taper down, it's pop. And
Yeah, it's just a straight drop.
yeah, and as far as I know, and looking at our documentation, we do have a 66-foot right of way. Which is very good, rail trail. He's got that clear to the trail. Dave's been out several times, you know. Kroger from D, he's been out there, what the problem is, he says that it's technically federal wetlands, which is the Army Corps of Engineers. So, we haven't got any back from them yet. So kind of a do what you want to you thought.
That's it. Okay.
Are we doing everything in on that or
I mean, Nate's got a file.
Nate's?
Where they've been. Yeah.
There's no roles anywhere. County. Nate's
No.
got to put in for.
Well, he's got a file in court and then Army Corps thing will be separate. But we can,
I called Dave probably yesterday, he was supposed to call Army Corps of Engineers back again yesterday, but it's hard to get answers out of them. We were hoping somebody from there would show up and say, hey, you can't do this. Because apparently, with federal wetlands, if you dig it out, you can't put it back in. So I don't know what he's doing up there. He's got a whole.
well, the law with federal wetlands changed because of the Supreme Court case, but that doesn't have anything to do with our right of way and our easements, so we can enforce that. Doesn't matter what he's doing. So,
Well, I don't think they actually own it.
yeah. So that's, they gotta get, all of them's gotta get that paperwork filed in court. So,
Well, we got to follow the route, I know where we set, but I know the other guy sent me and he wants some different measurements and
okay,
it's kind of hard to take measure and hold the stick off, trying to get a picture at the same time.
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, okay. All right. Right, then I guess Mike or county, do you have anything from county?
Not why. I first say, I wasn't here back the last month because of our budget meetings,
Yeah,
so I apologize for that. And I'm gonna say, I really wanted to say thank you to Rick Young, for his efforts to have a streetlight put at the intersection of Livermore Road and Route 392. That's been a long time coming, that's been a dangerous intersection, we've had a lot of students, drivers, and other people coming there. I just wanted to say thank you, publicly, to Rick for doing that. Yes, we've had our budget meetings at the county. I think that everybody are happy with the results that we've got so far. We may have some more changes. But at the end of our expanded budget committee, process, voting process on and subtracting from the county administrator's budget, we have gone to a total tax levy amount of $55,203,509. This is proposed, which is an increase of 3.29% on the levy. And that is less than had proposed by the county administrator. It's a countywide average tax rate of $4.82 per thousand, which is actually a decrease of about 9.24% on the tax rate. But we don't pay a lot of attention to the tax rate. That changes as the assessments change. With the levy, of course, as you know, that is what's important, the amount of money you're taking out of the tax base.
Right.
There can be more amendments to the budget, right up through, time we actually, vote for a final resolution. There are some people on the legislature who wanted to use more fund balance to lower the tax rate. I'm sorry, lower the tax levy. And that did not pass by a majority, but it might come back. So we'll be sending this to public hearing, and we want to hear what the public has to say about it. I think it's reasonable what we've done. I voted what I just read to you. We've had to raise our salaries in our labor contracts because inflation and everything else has meant that our employees had to have some relief. We've increased. We've had a huge increase in our health insurance proposal, about 14%. We know all that. There'll be an increase in our pension amounts that we have to give to the state for our employee pensions. We're looking at a couple of capital projects. One is the office building downtown, and the other is getting started on some improvement or even possibly a new jail. Eventually, that will be a few years out before that happens, but those things are there, and more immediately, we've got to think about shelter for homeless and other people. We've had to devise a very temporary code blue shelter in the old Key Bank building at the corner of Tioga and Buffalo Street. Code blue means basically a warming shelter where people can get out of the cold. They're open when the temperature goes down to below 32. It's funded usually by the state, although they still haven't told us as of last week how much money we're going to get to make that operate. Not an ideal situation, but folks we can use and places we've used previously were not available this year. So rather than do that. Plus, we have to have probably a new shelter of some kind for more people, so we have more folks that are homeless. Well, for all kinds of reasons, some folks choose to be that way. Some people are simply out of home. Some people have mental health or drug addiction issues, and we have more of them than we used to. So those are some of the things we're looking at for your county dollars. Other than that,
I saw you hired a new county administrator.
I'm sorry?
I saw you hired a new.
Oh, you know, I say that, Portia. Mr. Krause's last name is. I would call it Portia, that's what we're talking. He'll be coming out in January. He is currently the county administrator Forest Grove Erie County. And, he'll be coming, coming on to us in January, because his office has done a wonderful job for us, he's retired.
Mhm.
I think you'll like him, he's a very energetic kind of fellow, and, he has some broad experience. Went to school at Binghamton, he went to school in England, a lot of it. We're very old.
Good. Yeah, and did the county, I guess, do you know if they're, I guess if county planning is applying for anything to the MIP grant from Connect All as well? 'Cause the municipal infrastructure program, did the county end up applying for anything with that? Like, 'cause
I'm not sure whether we did or not. I can find out about it.
'cause I know that there's other rounds and, I thought that, like Point Broadband was gonna work with the county on that. But,
Well, I know that working on broadband grants.
yeah,
Don't know,
if it's that one,
if that's exactly the one you're asking about or not.
yeah, that it probably is, but, yeah. Okay. Okay. Nope. Anybody else? No.
Well, it looks like the weather today. Well, sure, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah. Right. So I'm gonna jump back to the public hearing about the tax overriding the tax levy cap. And I'll close the public hearing. And move that we so I'll move that we pass the local law to override the tax levy cap for the 2025 budget.
Councilperson Martin,
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, thank you. So next up, a couple of resolutions. The first one is for authorizing me to sign the payment in lieu of taxes agreement with Freeville Housing Group. They run the there's a 20, I think it's 24 unit building on Cook Street in the village of Freeville. This is one where the village of Freeville actually had a pilot originally, but it expired. This is it's a property where they provide housing to senior citizens of low income. Let's share the table. So at the end of the actual agreement, there's and exhibit B is the pilot payment schedule. And exhibit A is just a legal description of the property. It's known as Lehigh Crossing. And this pilot is it's the same as the previous one. So we didn't change the formula on this one. It goes up, I think it's 2% per year. So. Any comments or questions on this?
I just endorse it. That's what we gotta do. To bring in housing. And we gotta direct products and quality. Gotta break the barriers. Yeah, I don't know. Versus.
Yeah, and this one will keep that apartment complex as affordable housing, so.
Not
Um,
develop what the numbers want to do.
well, yeah, this particular company assumed ownership of this property and then it just happened to be when the original pilot. ran. So. Really, the town and the village and county aren't gonna really notice any difference because there's no real break in the payments. So. And yeah, I'm gonna share the resolution now. Any comment on the resolution? No? Okay, so I'll move this.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Then next up, we have another resolution, purchasing materials through Grave R for Dryden Fiber. Yeah,
I'll second.
March Monday?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
yes. And then next up, we received the application for the conservation board. Um. From Naomi Caters and she was a Dryden High School. Just, I think she's in college right now.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah,
I was thinking that.
yeah, it was. Actually graduates, sorry. So actually graduate college, but environmental science, forestry. I basically have perfect background for this. So I'll move to accept. Move to bring.
March Monday?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right. So, I guess next up we'll just do the budget workshop. Start off on that. This one's go first. I know this is first, but I'm gonna be here towards the end of the meeting anyway, so, yeah.
I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, bring it forward up.
Make sure you talk into the microphone. That's the point, you know.
Um,
Got me started.
let me just find, it was sent out, it was sent out an email, right, the budget, or it's on the,
Or
It's
it's
in-
on the server, it's on the public share.
I'll share.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Whatever.
So I just looked at, so this doesn't really budget. I filled out the application today for the JCAP grant. And I need to have a signature from the town supervisor to have them accept the application.
Okay.
If that's possible.
Yeah.
The amount that we're asking for from them, everything that I put on there, to 3,993. So I think on the form that we was gonna do, it has an amount on there where you can either do up to the $30,000 a day offer, or you can put in a certain specific dollar amount.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I think you have to have everything listed, with everything that you want. So I would say we just probably need $12,000 if we just put up to that amount. I'm not 100% sure if that's how it works, but I.
Well, how do you figure out like what you wanna use the grant for?
So, yeah, it's like, you can use it for, like, what, basically, most of the stuff that I did was, furniture, so like the tables that we have in here, I asked for 3 of those. New chairs for an office, so 4 chairs, like desk chairs for that, a standing desk, just one of those things for me to put on my desk so that
Yep.
I can stand. And then the, that copy machine that's back there, that's a dinosaur. I put in for, just a standalone copy machine. Like I figured we could probably get like a stool or use something that's somewhere in the building, put that
Yeah.
on and just put that there, because that thing we've had so many problems with lately.
Mhm.
And then also, we had talked about before getting, some covering, like, mirror covering on the windows that look into the office from outside. And you said that that was fine for us to do, so I just figured that we should probably just throw that in here too. So I called today, got a quote from, it's Old Graphic Designs, they're out of, Marathon. He sent me a, quote, and then, pictures of what it is basically. And, mirror, metallic, polyester film that goes over the windows, so I included that in there too.
Okay.
Do you need a resolution? Yes, I would, it has, so the certified copy of the local resolution of the town, the village board authorizing this application. The resolution basically states the town village authorizing the board to request up to the maximum amount available, which would be the 30,000, all I requested for was basically 4,000.
Is there any security stuff we did?
That's kind of, yeah, I mean, I can still, I'm gonna come in tomorrow, and submit stuff. I submitted the application, but I kept put a call and revamp that if we needed to. I thought about stuff, but we do have, metal.
Yeah, we have one up there.
I thought there was one.
And can the JCAP be used for court security also? Like when you're to pay,
No,
Can you
so
come down
that's
by-
the thing, it says, no funds awarded pursuant to this application shall be used to compensate judges or members of staff, to reduce or otherwise supplement funding provided for the village.
what about, like, since the Freeville court's moving out, all their dockets are moving here, is Freeville, like, there has to be something with the record keeping or whatever for them, so what are they paying for? Do you know?
Street building.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, that was part of what Jules was gonna.
I'm wondering if there's like, if JCAP or something.
I don't know, basically this stuff is just for, supply, like security stuff or public building or, our furniture, computer, like certain things like that, it's basically.
Well, I
just that.
mean, I think that, you just do tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
So, I mean, if there's,
which I didn't realize it was tomorrow, so I just kind of put it all together today.
there's no, I don't think I see any point in not passing option one, which is just the up to 30,000, but I think, because if you add stuff up with 1 and 4, you can get more.
I just didn't know if they, I mean, I have no, that's fine if you wanna do the 30, I just don't know, like, if they have to have everything, the grant items specifically listed beforehand, you know what I mean, or if you can do it after.
Yeah, they probably do, but I mean, just like if you, between now and you submit it, you think of
Think of
something
something else,
for
okay,
4,000.
yeah,
You want to be able to.
I mean, that's fine, I don't think it matters if you don't use it, right, they only
Right,
just.
well, if you only apply for 4,000, we allowed you to apply up to 30,
Right,
you don't have to apply for 30.
right,
So why don't we, before we go any further, why don't we just do that part so we don't forget it? So, all right, so the resolution will be, town board of the town of Dryden authorizes the Dryden Town Court to apply for a JCAP grant, in the 2024-2025 grant cycle up to $30,000. And permits the town supervisor to sign the grant application. So move that.
Second. Councilperson Mark,
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah, that way we just sign it. You have to get a certified copy of it.
Yeah, she was gonna do that for me tomorrow, so I was gonna come in for like half an hour and then, yeah, I've already submitted the application, so it's, but this is all the documentation that they need, is all the quotes and all that stuff.
You're talking about now, sure.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Is this-
For me?
Yeah, if the teacher finds it, we're gonna read it out.
That's on you now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm not sure where we should start or whether there's any questions from the board with respect to, any of the items there. My particular concern with addressing the, quoting of the court, and goals addressing Denver, and you know what I'm going to say next. Which
I have
is
no idea.
addressing, strictly, salary increases with respect to the clerks. I'm not concerned about salary increases for myself or Judge Clausen, but I am concerned about, salary increases for the clerks. I believe that Judge Clausen put in for 6%, with the closing of the Freeville court, I was want to ask the board tonight for a 10% increase in the salaries of the clerks, Nicole and Deb. My job is the easiest job in Dryden, really, and that's coming in here and doing whatever it is I do on the nights that I have court. But the job of the clerks really is the entire Dryden court is really Nicole and Deb Gallagher in terms of the work they do and the processing they do. When I walk in here, all I have to do is read the files and listen to everybody's stories. So to that extent, I found out from Chris just last week because we weren't sure what was happening with Freeville. But that Freeville has already passed their resolution or their local law as required by the village law to terminate their court as of December 31st. There were people who you know, the way the village law actually reads, it talks about the court, the court terms. But, I had Josh Shapiro from the Sixth Judicial District, sent me, basically an interpretive memorandum in which, the memorandum talks about the fact that the criminal court would only be able to terminate their court at the end of the justice's term. And since, Judge Marchese passed away, essentially this term has ended. So they can terminate the court at any time really before March of 2025. It looks like they've already done that by passing their resolution. So the only obligation they have left is to notify the public in Plainville, because the only thing that's required would be a permissive referendum. So I would tend to doubt that any resident of Freeville is gonna put together a petition with 5% of the Freeville citizenry signatures in order to maintain the court. So they're obviously effectively closing the court up.
Well, they passed that last December, so that petition time's passed by.
Okay, well, then I guess that petition should have come up in the last time.
It would have come up in the spring.
Well, that would
at the
only be,
latest.
but Judge Marchese hadn't passed away yet.
Right, well, they had passed, but they passed the resolution to close the court December of 23. That's what the mayor told me. And then, so the way at the end of his term, it was gonna close anyhow, so the public referendum, the permissive referendum would have had to have been petitioned for like January.
But if his term didn't end in.
Right, it wouldn't have ended until like, say, I mean, all I'm saying is you don't have to worry about the petition coming up because the time passed.
Okay, well, either way.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
there'd be a petition.
We don't need,
I didn't see anybody going door to door in Freeville to keep that.
if they wanted to do it now, it wouldn't do anything, it's too late.
So so that's all done, so there's the permissive referendum. So the only statistics that we were able to put together so far is really with the traffic tickets. We have, Cindy over Freehold's asked, to give us a full count of the cases. But we have no idea how many criminal cases will be coming over, from Freeville. I'm not sure how many that would be. I don't think that would be a lot. The real issue here is obviously the traffic tickets, which, so far in through October 9th, 2024, our court has, downloaded 1,490 tickets. Freeville in the same time period is 417 tickets. So it will increase the volume with respect to tickets fairly dramatically. And what's interesting is it puts us at over 2,000 tickets, which matches us now with the Ithaca City Court. Obviously, they have more criminal stuff, but we've always said, and obviously when I was here 2 years ago, we talked about the fact that the driving court is the busiest court in Tompkins County, but there are, salaries for the clerks at that time were not commensurate with the salaries well, clearly in the Ithaca City Court, but also in the Ithaca Town Court and the Lansing Town Court. And once we take in this new Freeville court, I mean, essentially, we're operating a court, we're taking over for a court that was essentially processing about as many, doing as much business as Ulysses Town Court, Groton Town Court, Enfield Town Court, Danby Town Court, Cayuga Heights is a little higher. So it puts us really in the range where we're far past now, both Lansing and the Ithaca Town Court. So, and as I said, as far as traffic tickets go, it puts us right up there with the city of Ithaca at this point. Obviously, they have more criminal cases, but we believe we have more criminal cases than any other town court. So that would be the reason why I would ask, instead of, I know Chris put in for 6%, and I would ask just simply for the chorus at this point, because we don't know exactly what the effect of this will be in terms of next year. Obviously, we'll have a better idea on the new year, and probably will come hand in hand next October as well. But for now, we thought that would be a reasonable request under the circumstance. Not for the judges, just really for the clerks. The clerks are essentially the court. You know, like I said, my job is easy. I come in once a week and I can basically put my performance here, and it's pretty easy. But everything else is done by these two ladies, and it's, you know, and so to that extent, that's really what I'm here for tonight. As far as other parts of the body, if the board has any questions about that, but, you know, but that's, I guess, essentially my pitch.
Does the village of Freedom give any of their money to us, or we as our member, that's just something towns have to do?
I think from what I've seen, it's like something that you guys have to discuss with that town, because it really. I think that's something that we would really be able to do.
I was gonna bring that up, thinking that would be something maybe we could all try to figure out in the course of the next, until the actual budget, you know, and until the actual time we have to make the final decisions with the budget. Well, my impression would be, my first sense impression would be, the village law specifically says that the village doesn't have to have a court.
Right.
The only obligation for the court is the town. So, you know, perhaps that's a political question for you guys with respect to the village. Jason, have you spoken with anybody in the village about it?
Well,
Probably has some memory of when Dryden Village was involved.
Yeah. Chris would know, yeah. I wasn't around, that was back in the 90s.
I don't know.
I think somebody said it was in the late 90s when they closed their village court. So that was only, my time to do it.
I just know there is gonna be a lot of stuff to do, even, you know, in regards to the number of cases that we're gonna be getting. But with bringing everything here, there are specifics that OCA has that is supposed to be followed down there. And I'm just, my concern is if it doesn't get done there and they dissolve it, it's gonna get pushed on us to basically make those lists of all the cases that they have is what they're supposed to do. Ones that are still pending so that we know what has to come here and all of that type of stuff. And it's gonna get thrown on us to do that extra work on top of extra work from that and, you know, everything else. And I know that point of it is gonna be just, you know, the first initial push, but I mean, that's still extra and there will be continuing, you know, stuff with cases and things. And I know they do have criminal and eviction stuff down there because people call here or we accidentally get cases sometimes. So I know there are, you know, criminal cases and evictions and, you know, civil stuff down there. I mean, obviously not as much as what we have, but it's still, I don't know specifically their numbers. Like I said, we haven't been able to really get any good with them to get those numbers and stuff. We were able to pull this off from our system. That's how we knew what they had for their tickets, but.
There's a state grant program, correct? They get, or you get some amount of state money as well to run on an annual basis to administer. There's no state money. And there's the
J cap grant that we just authorized, but that's.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's all that I know of.
JCAP grant is the only thing that I.
And you have to do that on an annual basis.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what-
done, and that's done basically for, that's how we have the security.
Okay, so presumably Friesel receives that as well each year.
They have.
The JCAP.
I mean, I don't think
apply.
that this has been done here. If you think that it was for the,
What?
Yeah, the cabins and stuff we done through JCAP.
Yeah.
And you put that in every year based on your volume, is it part of your JCAP, how many
I can
cases
tell
you
you,
get?
I- since I've been here, this will be my third year, believe it or not, we've not done it since I've been here.
They, in the past, they've done some significant JCAP stuff, and a lot of the storage in the court offices was all JCAP, the installation of a lot of the.
I mean, it's definitely beneficial, especially if you have things, like there's no reason that we have to pay, you know what I mean, when it's there, that's why I was like, even, this is a minimal stuff, but I'm like, it's stuff that we need, why have to, you know, put out. of pocket.
It's not based on caseload.
So it's based on the grant, an individual grant each year. And it varies in amount if you apply.
Yeah.
It's just all, it's physical stuff. Like, I mean, as far as the security goes, the cameras, that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
installed a
that's
few
not-
years back with the JCAP grant, that was a more significant. And, look at it. But they, we thought there was a real need for other physical stuff in the court facility itself. That's as legal goes.
They're obligated to turn over their open files.
So that's what they'll be doing. But once there's
And then providing us access if we.
they are close when you see.
It's, you know, town court. We have jurisdiction over the file. So who knows how that's gonna come down. But in essence, Debbie Gallagher also, she's the one who knows.
At the quarterly programs and she said. To establish a whole new. Control. The
Increases our volume. Much higher than easy. I was surprised when I saw that as many tickets, it's the city that you can now as well.
So with the 10%, where would that put our folks compared to other towns?
They would still be below. 2 years ago, we requested raising the base salaries and in salaries. Now, my recollection was we asked for a particular, there was a compromise, which everybody was happy to compromise, so, you know, and that worked well. But their base salaries are still $10,000-$15,000. And Lansing as well. The town of it, and obviously the city of it, because salaries are much higher.
We can get.
Yeah. Is that mic on? Is it green?
I think we should move on to talk
It's
about.
great.
Okay.
Well, like I said, if you want those numbers.
We did make that presentation 2 years ago. I was surprised that, surprised that actually some of the lower amount jurisdictions. So, but we had surprised provided that information a couple of years ago, to the town board, so, you know, we can get that again and give that to the town board as well, with respect to the commensurate salaries and then.
I'd like to see it, if it's not too much work.
Yeah.
I think that's all.
But, and as I said, I will not have those money to be right, that's, you know, you do our job and I'm happy to do it, to tell you the truth. But it really comes down to the clerks are the driving town court. So, without them, I would have no idea about
That's true.
it.
Other than, you know,
Did you fill out our employee performance form, the performance review? Do we have that?
Yes,
Okay. good.
yeah, we have those, that's all on file.
thank you very much, you guys.
Okay.
I think
That's it.
it-
No other questions?
And when you're talking there, so I can see if you hear it out there.
Yes. Spring, I'm talking. I'm speaking now. I'm not her. I'm just making her laugh. I'm speaking now.
Should we get buttons? Get you the buttons?
Alright, so, Marty, you wanna go?
Yeah. You're welcome to laugh.
Right. Yeah, which, just tells what lines you're looking at. and-
Changes is, days 70, 20,
Um,
0.45.
0.405, you said?
Just a $500 increase for, the software update for, it's 73.20. I only got to look at. It's that.
Mhm.
Like a discount for one for partnership. Increase the. They included. I don't know if I said that all, but. No. I do have their. Budget contributions for municipality. Come out.
Are they all about the same, like each municipality, the same percentage increase Okay. for everyone?
Yeah, and then you just sent out to us like a whole update of what's going on with the fall too, so people can see.
Oh,
Yeah, so, I mean, you know what you're doing, and then, I mean, I guess,
oh, the salary line,
the which,
my salary line. I don't-
yeah, that's, yeah, I do, I put that.
You're doing good work.
Yeah, now we just gotta get those fields built.
I'm like, she's
Declaring some value.
Yeah.
I'm all dropping my practice and cost like that.
So the last couple of years, I lived it by there was a couple of this year was on a couple of cows. We got the golf for all, so we're pretty current right now with CG equipment. I do have to have a couple of conditions, next year. I don't know. Cost. So that's probably that kind of budget for something else. Being and we are the only in here. Huge opportunity. Yeah, not the low down. Weeks. Art stuff.
We also, provide services to students with the aids.
So, we provide services to anyone. Read all, you have.
But the villages don't pay anything for the service that we provide.
But there are registration fees for some programs, like, you got that. That's for $45, we do provide a return, for, 3 months. We do pay the full to use the service. I just actually have to do one now, for the fourth routine, the whole right now. That was like before COVID, went through like, I seem to recall like writing courses or something about college. Did do some writing courses, we were not well attended, I've been trying to couple years, we tried to do that. Just really emotional. Right now, we don't think about, you know, and you see that we brought those, and we brought these in the channel. We did do, now, I have some people who. I would love to do more. We do adult basketball.
I have a question. Assuming we go forward with developing more recreational assets here, what sort of capacity do you feel you have or your network, your committee to pursue grant funding? And would we need to put something in your budget for that? Because I could foresee us going after our community development block grant money in the next cycle for that, you know, the annual New York State process. But we could go look elsewhere as well for that sort of funding.
I know, they are part of it.
We've hired, oh yeah, we could hire a consultant. I just wanted to get a sense from you how much you want to be involved in that. Yeah. What's your group? When does that committee meet next?
Last Wednesday.
So before our budget, of course. So it might be something to put on the agenda, what you might need from the town in terms of development proposals, you know, grant proposals. Because I could see us, you know, hiring a grant writer if we're not going to do it in-house. And trying to, you know, get the funding to do this that way. How that, right? Yeah, they vary. Yeah, but, you know.
That's something we do a lot of these fund balance. Something.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, for
Yeah.
10,000, 15,000, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can pass a resolution because you're amending the budget. You can do it like that.
There's also the recreation partnership money, the county's annual $5,000 program. We might want to look at, we usually invest that in the rail trail, but this could be a chance to deviate from that. Because we gotta find the money to do this.
I'm also thinking that, you know, as we, I guess, expand our efforts on housing development in the several, you know, several projects that are going to be under the very soon. And we will increase the number of families, potentially. A great increase of families that are going to be using services. So I think it will be strategic, especially to develop the assets, with the regional facilities. And thinking strategically about building up your own, I guess, system to provide those services.
Yeah, and that's what I would be remote to do that. No, that's that was that's a huge deal for us. As you see, we're barely making it. People kids and only the, putting in,
Yeah, so we might, you know, just be thinking about how to scale up what you do and that contingency in your spare time.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah.
So. fair for everybody to play. It happens. It just sometimes can't happen, or you're there. Very fun. Yeah. It's-
That's it. Yeah, it's a mixed blessing. It's stressful for you, but it's great that, people want the services and we, we want to we want to have that capacity met. We really do. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Rick, you're up.
Oh, boy. Time to grab our wallets.
Mine's already been taken.
So Rick has been taking his interest from the New York class, and every quarter we put it into equipment reserve, that's budgeted last year. And he now already has 120,000 as of the end of the third quarter in his equipment reserve for future purposes. So by taking that, those funds, putting it aside, he's preparing for next equipment he's got to buy.
Right.
Or emergency equipment, if something goes bad, can happen.
Yep.
That doesn't get clean with the budget very clearly, and budgets again, same plan.
Yeah.
Take your interest, but
Yeah. Mhm. When does that take effect?
This is for producers. They have to sell 20% of their fleet. Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah. It's not for purchasers. You can purchase whatever you want. Manufacturers.
No. So
Over 12 months, they're looking at $2 million just to get the superchargers installed. So then they can work on it. It's just, it's a mess. I don't know if things are gonna change, if she's gonna say, okay, one more year or something, but as of right now, they were saying that we won't be able to purchase trucks.
If you can find them,
What's that?
if you can find them.
Right, but they won't be able to sell them until. I don't think we can go on a state.
Well, putting budget line is lower than the last year.
That reason.
That was because of, roll with the prior, the previous year. The original budget for equipment
So.
was like seven something, yeah. No, 800,000, the adopted budget for 2024, third column from the right, is 800,000. The modified is 998, that's just due to roll from the prior year, the prior year.
But proposed is $1 million.
Yes, proposed roll.
Okay, which is what was adopted last year.
800,000. That's what we adopted last.
And stuff. Some things. If you look at the repair budget, so. That's a lot.
That's for fuel.
That-
That's being less for fuel. That's good.
Are we gonna go through this item by item, or how do you wanna do this?
You can go through it.
Last time, you guys hit twice, you know, not a lot has changed.
I go through and I look for things that look like there's a big delta. Yeah.
Increase.
Because the payroll falls between so many code accounts, it's hard to get a good clean, like, and it changes every year, like. So,
Changes, not only from year to year, it's other things that we do more of. Next year, how much paving are we gonna do, how much road work without us, and the DPW, rail trail, all the different things that we do is all that probably.
Mhm.
Think that we have a lot of that, it's tough to figure that out.
But as far as like, I mean, it looks like at least for the DA part, not including the payroll stuff. It's only 50,000 more than modified 2024 budget.
Yeah, we have.
the only piece in DA that we forgot to put in here is the stream bank stabilization grant. Which Rick can explain better, we're expecting the subcontractors to go out to bid next year. And to the work to be done, and the town is responsible for 25% of that cost. And that, the budget for that subcontract is 400,000 change, so we need to budget about 100,000 additional. That's transferred to capital project, because that will be the share of, the local share of that capital project. So you need to add 100,000 on to that.
Yeah.
Go into the DA part.
Yeah, yes, that's the DA.
That's,
Example.
so that'll go into the contractual under miscellaneous now.
No, instead of going to that, slide, you go to page 18. At the very bottom, it's an interfund transfer.
Oh, okay.
It's just 10,000 this year.
It'll have to be 100.
It'll have to be 100.
While we're on page 18, Amanda, this is probably something you just need to educate me on, but why does the retirement, under employee benefits go up and down so much?
Well, it's been going up the past 2 years. It has basically, you can see 2024, it's 25, it's going up significant amount. That's from the projected invoice I received from the New York State Retirement.
That's just arbitrary from the state.
Based on our salaries and how long it's going, I mean, they have a whole,
Yeah.
calculation. And I could break up the cost between funds depending on the, which employee and which fund they're in.
Okay. All right.
It's all broken up by.
Can you know yet with the union members with their raises? What percentage?
It's a flat amount.
Oh,
Yeah, it's, yeah,
okay.
this is what, year 3 of it? Coming up?
25.
If we have to put in money for Freeze Road, does it put on here somewhere?
It will. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have to put, well,
Is that reflected yet?
no, we don't, I mean, until we know the,
So we're gonna have a meeting with Mark. Matt School sometime soon.
okay.
I emailed him today about that, to talk about our local share on the Freeze Road Bridge.
Remember the county, yeah,
We'll have to put it out initially, but the county usually will reimburse us at least.
yeah,
They passed a resolution.
Oh, yeah, I remember all that. I had to negotiate that stuff. I had to negotiate that. Yeah.
North.
100%, right.
And then,
So I think they're gonna, that's what they said, was
That's it.
once you get a set number, they'll give it back. To us. There was a
Right.
question that were total.
They came up with a formula, and if it blah, 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 they would.
we got the full amount for George Road.
Okay,
I
good.
didn't submit back account for that. It's basically anything that was not covered by the state, New York State, bridge grant.
yeah, Bridge New York,
Bridge
yeah,
New York. New York grant, I have to get it back to the county and they did submit the full amount back.
yeah,
But I won't put Freeze Road in this budget until we have more clear numbers, and also will it happen even in 25? Which we probably need to look at that end date for your state.
look at the what?
The end date for Freeze, if it has 24.
I think it's gonna start in 20. I think we'll start dismantling it at least in 25.
Well, and on the tip for the, the Transportation Council, it got extended to 25, so it's not, yeah, and there's DOT people there too. I almost got into a nice little argument with them because they wanted to blame us for it, and I looked at them like they're insane.
Blame you for what? For the holdup?
For the holdup. Oh, yeah, they wanted to, I'm like, don't even go there. It's like,
Karen Cole?
it was the people who show up to the county transportation council, yeah, so it's just there's 2 people there, and I don't remember their names,
They must be new.
but in any case, they tried to push the blame on the town a little bit, not directly, but in their Albany sort of way, and I'm like, yeah, we're not having that. So you're the ones who decided some bucket of bolts is historic, and like I told one of them before, it's like, you want to see historic bridge, you go to Europe. And then what they do with them is when they knock them down when they need bigger ones, and they put up a nice little plaque, and that's how they remember their history. I think I told that to somebody when they were in Varna, actually. For some reason, there was a DOT person there for the Janelle Road or the George Road public meeting, probably was the Janelle one.
We don't wanna make it too many, we have to have a lot of bridge.
I know, but just because something's old doesn't mean it's historic. That's my point.
It wasn't necessarily the bureaucrats. We had some activists that were interested in the future of this bridge.
No, they're wrong too.
Our preservationists. Preservation.
But we don't need to put the free bird bridge capital project in here because it'll stay in a capital project on a county labor. Hopefully the full amount.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound. But if it does, and I don't know, we gotta do the 10, does understand. I have.
Yeah. Yeah, they should just give it to us though, because they,
But part of the conversation.
yeah, to say sign this.
So the other part is they do like a set percentage for employees, you know, like 3%, 4%, 5%. But unless my math is wrong, it looks like you did like different percentages for different positions. Is there like a formula or something for that to cause that? Instead of just making them all the same?
Oh, you're definitely highway, yours and your admin.
What lines are we on?
I have like 3%, 4%, and 5%, not in that order, but. Oh, so my math is right. Okay.
Any 8 months.
Yeah, well, the one is about a year longer, the other one is started. Talk about that,
Yeah, so like one was 3% and one was 4%.
the 8 or 4%.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of work on the deputy, obviously, started that. People who know. Still learning.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering, if
I do that.
I was wondering if there was anything there, okay.
Well, we had come up, and I don't know if you got looped in on this last spring, but we had an employee review process that we worked on for department heads to look at the past year and look at CPI and decide, well, if it was great performance, we want to get CPI +1 or CPI +2%, and trying to recognize great work, but keep it within justifiable
Yeah, that would be-
framework.
People, a lot of things she's done. So she has worked with the man with a lot of things. There's the different grades she worked in, and she helped, just different things. Has a lot of paperwork for her, and she accomplishes it, and, they're really good.
And you did the forms for them as well, like the employee review, employee evaluation form. Excellent.
Okay, this is the area we're doing the here is 3.4.
3.5.
Say that again?
This is the area we are.
It's 2.4. Where do you
3.5.
CPI from
No,
September 23 to September 24, 2.4.
that's for real estate.
So the one that I've always used, Dan, the past number of years, is the Bureau of Labor Statistics for the Northeast.
Yeah.
And it's 3.5 right now.
For the Northeast.
So it's hard to get, you think New York to get to city, and the Northeast at least gives us a range of demographics. Yeah. And it's never actually. Every month,
Sure.
Don't you have 2 deputies? Okay, so this is one, and then is it Mike one?
Chris is the DPW, so
his falls under 1490.
Oh, okay. Oh, so this one is Mike,
Yeah,
Page 23.
okay,
and you should know that the deputy superintendent of public works, his salary is split into some sewer and water funds.
Got it.
Because he does a lot of sewer and water, open. We have moved some of that into special districts to help, or to account for what the work he does.
Okay,
So the number you see in the A fund is not his final salary.
and then,
Yeah.
who's your report to? Okay, so I didn't look at those numbers, so was that equivalent to the 4%?
No, I believe it was,
Three, and then three, yeah, okay.
I just, I had gotten, I didn't know what the other account was.
Great letter.
Okay.
I knew we had switched it up last year to somewhere.
We were going 3.4. Is that what you said a moment ago?
3.5. I like round numbers, easier than nine.
Okay, so I think it's important that we're on the same page. So I'm looking at BLS right now, and it's saying for September 24, it's 3.4%. So are you looking at something else other than?
When we did that, calculation, we were doing it in August. If you go back, I think. 2.6. I'm going on. What's the month before it says,
Consumer price, it's the change in energy, food.
So you're right,
Yeah,
it's
we should-
2.5 because now.
It was 3.4 in August as well.
Okay, but I think the previous month, because it was 3.6, I kind of took an average between the two, not knowing what the next month is going to bring.
Okay, so you looked at July and August and picked 3.4.
That was doing it. We did this early August, tax August, under, do it, I would have July and September.
All right, I think we're all on the same page. It's an estimate. Yeah, more?
Thank you. We have stuff in here for like, because I know that like if the climate smart folks get more grants for like energy upgrades and whatever, is that already accounted for somewhere? Because Alice was talking about something where we might qualify for like $170,000 one, and I
So
can't.
that's all, see, and there's,
And that one, I don't know, I'm not sure if that's what that's, I don't remember what that's for.
I put it in, you guys look on the, we go, we'll put in. About the money, depending on the those who are taking.
Yeah,
Like service covered in, and there's a grant. Or she asks you guys for the money to pay for the study on the highway drive stuff.
yeah.
It's not, that's or.
Yeah.
So. If they tell me the building's not worth fixing, we're not gonna spend money for it, but there is a little bit of money there.
Okay.
I don't know what else, I know what else.
There's something for the charger, I think,
For
for like highway vehicles or whatever.
Right, so,
Yeah.
like I said, we don't have any.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually talking to that's about money, and I thought we were gonna get a couple vehicles, I thought, one. Oh. You know, it's gonna affect us.
Yeah,
That's why.
well, you can get the, you get ones like F-150 Lightnings.
If I have that spot, you know, Johnson.
Yeah.
But,
But that would count towards like what the state wants everyone to do, getting like at least the pickups.
right, and that was part of the L, so that we would have our own charging out there.
Yeah.
Here.
Right.
So, just keep putting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell how much solar, how much.
Yeah.
What's on the speed level, then sort of, they do like heat loss. Ways for us to save energy.
Yeah. Okay. But all that stuff's in here, so it won't be like a
It's
major.
kind of a guess. So. What's your? Which, I mean, I was a little skeptical. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Here's what I was trying to remember about the resolution we hammered out with the county. I just found it. And, so we did get them to cover the 5% local match that's required in the grant program. However, the Bridge New York money is capped. It won't go up any more than the, I think it's 2.6 million that we received. And if the price of this project has gone up, say, $1 million, and this thing is, 3.5 million, the county will only pay up to 20% more than 20% of the share of the project. So we'll have to negotiate with them to go beyond 20% of the overall cost of the project. Does that make sense? Yeah, so if this thing's 3.5 million and you do 20% of 3.5 million, that's the maximum the county will pay for this project.
Well, without the money though, it was an 80-20 split before. County would pay 80%. Oh,
Right.
Right. So that's the kind of split we would.
So we still might be on the hook for something here. That's what I'm trying to say. Worst case scenario. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to petition the county because the resolution reads, if it goes beyond 20%, the municipality can request additional funding from the county. And every one of these words was labored over to get.
Well, I remember there was to do about that.
It was a nightmare.
I mean, even like Jeff Swift said, just for the highway, what we're trying to get these grants and get, that's money we're not spending. So if it's $3 million, we're putting in additional $6 million.
Yeah.
That's money, less money. How do you do that on the project with that money? That we got grants. So that's they've had many conversations about how, because this range, there's quite a few people out there that should start applying for these grants.
Yeah.
But they put that money, usually they would have put up 80% of it, we only save them $2 million.
What's the day on doing these?
This fall. For the bridge project?
So we would,
Well, that might be a little bit.
I was wondering.
We're gonna do a final design in the next month or so.
Okay.
We did Corridor only 2 years ago.
No, I'm just wondering if we'll have like RFP responses, give us some part of the work report.
I can see that happening before the end of the year, but I'm a pathological optimist.
Well, I'm not.
We balance out. Now, don't we? But yeah, I mean, that's the big, big surprise, I guess, that we might find out that we can't build this bridge for $3.5 million. That would be sad.
Well, guaranteed, I mean, obviously, the part of the deal. I know, like, people,
But we've gone, I think we went with the least expensive option. That's one of the things that benefits us. We're not doing the bells and whistle option.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There we go. Okay, I can go. I'm gonna just use the fill in. I'm just gonna show on the screen the fill in worksheets. Okay, so
Jason's got the floor. He's waiting.
Let me quick. All right, so for town board, whatever, that's the slide that's up there. I just did 3% for the salary part. Kept contractual the same because we've only gone a little over half of what we budgeted for. And the prior year we were under, that's sort of like a unknown, and we budget mod out of that if we have to. So but the total increase for that section is 2.4%. Next is budget officer, keeper, secretary, senior account. Well, I mean, I guess senior account clerk, you actually told that. Okay. And then newsletter, I kept the same, even though yeah, we really do it electronically, so that, I mean, that one probably be knocked down since we
don't spend that money.
we don't spend all of it, but it's like, $600. Contractual kept the same. Same with office supplies. In the past, we've spent a lot more. This year, for some reason, I haven't spent as much. The mileage and travel and training, I kept the same so that we, have funds to go to AOT, and if there's other trainings people want to go to. Because sometimes they're in Rochester or Albany or whatever. If there's one that people feel like going to, the money's there for it.
That's for any of the board members or your staff.
Any of the board or staff, yeah. So it's. Yeah, and I didn't increase those budgets, and then, so the total, even with the salary increases, which were all 5% for May, the total of that section like goes up 4.5%. And the bottom line is like the fiber, I mean, it should be 6. Yeah. Like everyone who's doing work, they've taken on so much more than that goes beyond what their job is. Like, Cassie and Amanda alone doing a ton of work on the fiber project that's not even really part of, like, it's just added stuff onto what they really are supposed to be doing. So probably come, when we, I guess, have to talk about budgeting even from the Dryden Fiber part to cover potentially more than just the 5% even, because they're like, they're doing so much more work on it. On top of the regular duties. The independent audit, this is we have to do the single audits now too, so that's an added expense on top of the regular 15,000. I'm not sure if this number is up to 25. Okay. I know they were gonna increase it, but I didn't see the letter yet. But we need to have the single audits done for all the federal grants we have now, because we've got well over $750,000 per year expenditure.
We should plan. that we're gonna have.
Yeah. Well, we know we have to have it done for Dryden Fiber, period. I think it's just every year it's gotta be done. And then, I kept legal the same just because we have this, even though the insurance is covering this crypto thing, but you know, stuff like what's going on with, down near the lake. You know, constantly having to negotiate these easements with, the villages, which I don't understand why. Yeah. And then if we're gonna do any other potential work on other, I guess other things that are outside of normal meetings and resolutions and whatever for, you know, things that are gonna come up, like,
So that's legal.
yeah. But that is something like we haven't come close to it, but I just, you know, we also have the, you know, one of the zoning, you know, I guess Ray probably budgeted legal costs for the zoning in his area. You know, if it's, I don't know, I just kind of feel like I really don't know what's coming down the pike, like legally. And that's another area where if we don't use it, we need to budget mod something, we can do it from there. So it's a 0%, but we can, so later on, when we're doing the budget, if we need to cut from someplace, this is one place we can cut from. Just, it's, so I'll just throw that out there. And then I filled some other stuff in. So IT, yeah, after tonight, I might want to take some of this and put it towards buying a real screen and something, but I don't know what, I know the last time, we had an estimate for that. Servo, she got estimates last time. Yeah, I mean, the thing is like the big screen, they actually went down in price. It's just, it's more the installation part, but here, I think we just need to have a, well, yeah, if you can get a camera that tracks who's speaking and then, so I'd probably have to hire somebody to at least give us an estimate. I think that using the 10,000 for equipment towards that, and then maybe pulling some, maybe out of the legal at the end, give us the 15, which I think is what it would cost.
I don't plan first if they know of any like improvements needed in our server or anything, they said not, the coming year, they don't anticipate any replacements, any major equipment. So,
Yeah, and then the website's gonna go online sometime soon, I hope. Was it this month?
I think
Yeah. So then it'll be a maintenance cost rather than rebuild the whole thing. So anyway, I expect this part to go, this even with, if we buy a big screen, the number to go down that we spend on IT. And then I reduced the contingency because I don't think we've even done anything with it. But yeah. And then AOT dues didn't change. And then that insurance, that's the, well, you try to change that number, yeah.
So actually, your AOT, we have a letter from AOT.
It's 15. I don't know.
You can see in.
I thought they had yeah. Think okay, then so the one thing I wanted to go into details of is the kennel. So we're still trying to get the village to let us potentially put one here at town hall. That lease expires at the end of next year, and I know that if we keep the same kennel, they're going to want a pretty big increase. Because he asked us to increase it a year and a half ago, I think. The contractual amount, I haven't even heard a thing from our DCO. So I pretty much kept it the same, but I want to put out an RFP
For our own kennel.
for DCO. If you let him bid on it, but I want to put it out. We've had some,
Don't we have to do that soon? I mean, this will be
Yeah.
effective January 1st, right?
yeah, we need to do it soon, but this is this is what I want to put in the budget for. To keep it basically the same and see what people come in.
What we have basically last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's probably more than we might come, people might come a little lower than that.
Would that just be for the year?
It's per year, yeah. I mean, this is a lot that we're paying somebody. But we had no interest from anybody else a couple of years ago. And but things haven't been going as well as it could be.
And just so you know, I was at a training in September with Ag and Markets, and there will be a funding opportunity for municipalities to build a new shelter from the ground up if we have property to put it on. And I would think that we'd stand a pretty good chance. I have submitted a Freedom of Information request for the successful ones out of the last round. He did suggest that we hire a professional grant writer if we're going to do it. But he made it seem hopeful, and we don't need a large. And there are new regulations coming down that become effective in December of 2025 with respect to ventilation and a whole bunch of other things. And I don't know that what we rent currently is going to meet the requirements.
So are we okay with the land?
Well, it's the zoning part of it, whether they would let us. That's the issue. It's again, yeah, I mean, at some point, if they don't respond to us, then we have to decide whether we're just gonna do it anyway. Because as a municipality, we have that right, I think.
When you say that, you mean our current.
No, I mean, to use something like right back here. Because,
Maybe the farmer next door will give us some land over the border.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and so the only thing I didn't put in here though, I think usually balances out is the enumeration. I can't remember what it cost last.
If we can get someone to do enumeration, it generally pays for itself. and the extra fees that you collect for the unlicensed dogs that you find during the enumeration. We haven't, there was one that was nearly completed and then COVID hit. So we're overdue. There are a lot of dogs out there that are not licensed. And we can try an enumeration by mail. But you get the honest people.
Yep.
So I don't know. I also want to increase our dog license fees. They've not increased since, I think, 2010.
2010.
Yeah, they're really low.
Well, I had Lee do a survey at the beginning of last year, and we're not that far off. And there are people lower than us. So, and we'll never be able to collect what it costs us to meet the requirements of the state for dog control. So, you know, we're going to subsidize it generally to some degree, but it's for the protection of people who don't have dogs too.
I was making sure it was probably time it takes you to process.
You don't know how to start that. It's a service.
Yeah.
It's a service.
For the enumeration.
Go for 100 for somebody else to do, but this person is doing now.
Yeah, I'm doing RFP to see if we can find someone else who's, you know, I mean, the current TCO can bid on it too.
But you just want to test the waters, see if
Yeah,
anything
I mean,
else.
I've already amended, the prior one we used, and I sent it to Bambi. I can bring it next week, put it on the agenda, we can then vote to let it out.
If you want to do it before,
Sit around for like editing thing.
how much time do you need? You want it in place before there's a budget adopted.
We would need, I mean, I think,
Or do you think that's not?
I guess gonna be necessary, because I know you pretty much thought the amount like budget is kind of high for it anyway compared to some other towns. So I think we leave it the way it is in the budget and then see what we, I mean, I'm sure someone will look at the budget that we have if they're really serious about it and let us know what they can do. But the kennel part, I really want to get on, so I have to see if the mayor will actually, you know, when we ask for something, see if we can get anything. That would be a novel idea.
Well, there's a vet right over there on North Street. And if you're out back, you can hear dogs barking all the time. So I
Right.
don't know if that's the concern.
I don't know that they even know what the concern is. It's taken so long just to get anything through email about it. Yeah. So, but at some point, I mean, I know that we can also make a decision to just do it. We just need to find the spot, the land. So, but it'd be good to do the grant. And then, so maybe what we should do is put money in for,
You might have to make
Grant
a
writer.
location.
yeah,
We're already talking about that later too. So.
yeah. So that might be something we talk, I mean, you know, talk about hiring a grant writer or having some money set aside for grant writers for a couple of things.
In general.
Like a general grant writer pot, yeah, because some of them will take they want it paid whether or not it's successful, and some get paid out of the grant. So it just depends.
And we do this because the FCC is too expensive for us to use.
They won't,
They
they don't have capacity.
Yeah.
We've tried.
So as far as the village, you're just waiting for a response from them?
We've been waiting for some response from them for a while, like Nate's to talk with their attorney, who was the same one as Freeville's attorney.
Well, they need to understand that the town by law has to provide
Yeah.
dog control and have a shelter, and they benefit from it. They
Yeah.
don't pay for dog control, but we enforce, you know, we take care of things in the village, so.
I think we're just being like good neighbors asking for zoning
Yeah.
is permission, but I do not believe we need to ask for permission. In the end, if we want to play nice, we'll get them to agree to it. But if they're not, I think it. So,
How big of a facility do we need? I mean, how many dogs, at max?
I would say 10,
10, yeah,
Max.
and that's a rare occasion.
yeah. Yeah, it's not very big. I mean, if you went out to the one like existing one, it's not very,
But right
Big.
now, there's a dog that has been there with him.
yeah. And I think the whole thing, even with the dog runs, only about as big as it's from. Because the building itself is only about from the back wall to right where like Tim is. It's not even that big.
You can certainly ask for a tour.
Yeah, it's like it's like this length of from there to where about you are, where you and Daniel are. Yeah, yeah, it's not, and it's but the dog run part is probably out to about here. So it's not very big. It's been around for 20 years.
Well, Ritz and Thumb
They had their own kennel. or
they had a
something.
boarding facility, and
Yeah.
then I built a separate building
Yeah,
for the shelter.
Yeah.
Because you really shouldn't mix them up.
yeah. So, I think that's all this stuff.
Did you say,
Oh, and then there's some other, I mean, some of these things I feel that I think are things that Ray actually does, I never.
the senior account clerk is 5% also?
The which part?
The senior account clerk is at 5%.
Yeah,
I think it's a typo there. I think it should be 57209. Check my math though. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see if you guys talk about. Really, maybe go back and take the phone or phone call. We work together on that. And
Yeah.
I agree with what you said. Trying to be a good patient, right? I don't see why it's. Our patient is on that.
Well, I mean, they're already paying taxes to the town, so.
Yeah.
It's, we don't have to do anything. That, all we need, like for the kennel, is to say, yes, you can build over here. That's all we need. It's not,
You're right. Then you come.
yeah, yeah, like the village is, you know,
Cool.
yeah, and the school, yeah. So we're not like looking for, it's not even money we're looking for, it's just, we need those things we need to do for the town, and we just want some cooperation without having to, like, you know, pull my hair out. It shouldn't be, you know, things shouldn't be so hard sometimes. And sometimes they just are.
That's lunch.
Barely have time to eat lunch on my own. But anyway, so I finished going through this. I mean, we had all the budget requests from different things, like library and in there, what they are. I mean, they're not even increases, they're not much. Especially like dollar wise. Yeah, I don't think I had anything else. I don't know, the biggest change I might get will be. Well, yeah, we did. Huh? Oh, well, yeah, I don't know if that's a budget thing, but. Yeah, I mean, just, Christine was just asking about job description stuff for Amanda too. Uh,
Is there one for jack of all trades?
Yeah, that's the thing. So, I mean, I think it's yeah. Yeah, so I think we're gonna need to address that for sure, next year, because there's things that have gone beyond what I think is in.
This year?
Well, yeah, that's a civil service. Gotta go through that too. Yeah, so when we have. Yeah. We have to work on it with them to actually officially change it. So, but that doesn't have to be tied to the pay part. We can pay first and change later.
Okay.
So, well, like I said, the only things that I think of adding additional would be coming from the Dryden Fiber side. So it'll be not even coming out of this budget, coming from that. Which Caroline is going to be contributing some money towards the administrative cost. Well, they'll just be,
We've talked to Caroline about this.
yeah,
Their obligation to help us with our staff that are, you know, working outside their lanes.
Yeah.
Traditional lanes.
yeah. So,
And they've been off. Okay.
no, they didn't. I mean, I talked, I have to,
Budgeting it.
yeah, I need to follow up with Mark Whitmer to make sure they're budgeting it, but yeah.
So we,
Because I had talked about them, Caroline contributing 40,000, but that would be, I guess, run through the Dryden.
Dryden
Fiber
Fiber,
Fund.
then Dryden Fiber might transfer something to the town,
Yeah, except,
if that.
yeah,
Those, like, we need when we have people, payroll, so that we'll hire them.
Yeah. yeah, yep. Okay. I think I'm done. We can hand off to Bambi.
Okay. My budget is a whole lot different than it's been in the past years. And then 20 whatever years I've been here. I think most of you know that I hired another deputy and she is full-time. And 2025. Give me a minute.
we know.
2025 is going to be a year of transition in our office. And so my goal is that I walk out of here seamlessly. So few things about the budget. I eliminated the 0.2 because there's nothing that we buy that's considered equipment anymore. I added that money into the 0.4s. I'll give you this. One thing you'll notice that's different from what you have presented from Amanda is that Amanda and I considered putting 25% of Alice's salary with broadband duties and ways in which she can help Amanda. So this is my good, better, best scenario. My goal really is to pay the deputies at a rate that they don't go someplace else, which is happens enough. Remember, get out the court for comparisons, wage-wise. I've brought these to the board year after year after year. And we've made some progress, but not enough. We've lost, what, 3 people to other municipalities? And it's embarrassing when you compare what our current rate is to Lansing and Ithaca. So I don't expect any answers. But I want you to consider that, and at some point, when it's appropriate to go into executive session to talk about, you know, the employment history of particular individuals, we could get into more of this.
Mhm.
But, maybe my best is pie in the sky, but it's comparable to what's already going on around us.
But I guess I would say that there is a budget for that research too. And we see those tax assessment that's already calculated with 25 of the salary, not being taxpayer dollars that be coming from the driving fiber.
But you said we have to change that.
Something we have to do is I can tax revenue fund. But
Oh.
because we don't have the tax dollars in here yet, that's fine. So at this point, the key is to remember that this is the tax dollars. When we go into the preliminary budget, there'll be a large, higher amount for that salary line, but there will be an offsetting revenue line of interfund transfer. The interfund revenue, basically money coming from other funds to cover that cost.
Right, so what I've given you is what it breaks down to per hour for those positions. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, my contractual, I kept at what it was this year between the 0.4 and the 0.2 with them combined. So I didn't ask for anything more there. I just asked for them to be compensated more adequately. And that's all I got.
Right. Yeah, 'cause I do agree we need to do something so we stop losing people. Especially because continuity is really important. Local. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been losing people to like the county and the town of Ithaca. What was that? No, it's Diddy. Maybe?
I don't know, but it's money that woos them away.
Right,
It isn't that they don't like working here.
yeah.
And you know, for years I had a part-time person who really didn't have to work and we paid no benefits to and worked for cheap. But helped us out a lot in so many ways.
Thank you for your input.
Else. I just wanted to be quick.
You,
I just wanted to do a, just a comparison of what we did last year versus what's been proposed already, just so we have I didn't do this earlier. So we'll have a- It's not even. It's not even $100,000 difference in the four funds unless I added some. Yeah,
you're comparing last year's budget to this year?
yeah, just the amounts in A, B, DA, DB that from the lines for the. No, I didn't put that part in yet,
And that's,
but even then, it's still, I mean,
but this must is a Rick's modest request.
yeah,
Also could be, only tax levy calculation. I think keep the levy at 1%. Increase for all. Need to be 350,000 or less. But it could be some capital projects. And leave the format, I can talk.
yeah, I mean, we're talking like, I mean, well, I mean, right now, the way it's looking is that I mean, we have to change, probably gotta change some things, but if we use the same general area, it's not even, it's like 2% increase in the four main funds, what it's looking like.
Well,
And that's even with salary increases that we're talking, so. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just like a kind of a guesstimate here, but that doesn't include anything having to do with special districts, which I know. Well, the things like with the sewer, yeah, the sewer plant, the sewer, Varna water sewer is gonna have assessments again at some point. Yeah, not this year, but the sewer rate's gonna see a big increase because of what's going on at the Ithaca plant. Is the budget. I don't know, we're gonna try to see what we can do about that, but the salary increases there, the city has to do to attract people to work, so they have to keep hiring. This company, that's the one that actually runs, I think, the village plant. So they have to keep hiring them and using their employees. They're trying to create a budget with enough to cover municipal and contractor employees, and if they go that way, it's gonna jump the reimbursement rate for us up. So. Okay. I guess, yeah, we talked about the dog control thing. No, I'm just saying, I was gonna do I thought about doing dog control at our executive session, but we don't need to. Oh, no, because Daniel's here for his class. And then I guess we have to deal with the RFP though, on the rec thing, like we have to approve that revision.
Oh.
What?
That's,
Mark.
but okay,
There's that,
they're okay
which,
with that, right?
everyone's okay with that now, I thought.
No, because we realized that it was during the second. meeting.
Yeah. Okay, so, okay, yeah, okay,
It was mine.
Okay. okay, so then I'll just let Leslie know that to get it back out, okay,
Yeah.
okay, very cool.
Okay.
All right, I got nothing then, thanks. Go look at the Aurora, because apparently, see it. Aurora. Am I allowed to sign this? As much like that. Wow. Getting up there, Dad. You need to be reminded, or you're reminded each day. Every day. You guys hired enough? Yeah. Yeah. No, I went in the door. I bumped them down. They gave them. About being the same as well. Because I know sometimes way back when you started. She was in the.
We'll put it on YouTube.
Well, the thing is. I can't get the Zoom account. We don't do this frequently. The YouTube, every time I watch the live, it doesn't do it. So.
Well, and you know what? I'll say, but it's like the phone number.
All in or not at all? But no, yeah. No, that's what I was gonna say. You pretty good with that. I think long term, I think she will be huge.
We're a pretty good little family, Mary.
Well, she, like I said, she's, I've been around, I know her. When I started working.